The following is a class on the Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, chapter number 16, text number 29, given by His Grace Sriman Sankarshan Das Adhikari, recorded on September 9th, 2009, in Sofia, Bulgaria.
So today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto number 3, chapter 16, text 29. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavan Anugavaha Yatang Ma Vaishtam Astusham Brahmateja Samartopi Hantung Neche Matang Tume Bhagavananugavaha Yatang Ma Vaishtam Ashtusham Brahmateja Samartopi Hantung Neche Matang Tume. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. The Lord then said to His attendants, Jai and Vijay, "Depart this place, but fear not. All glory is unto you. Though I am capable of nullifying the Brahmana's curse, I would not do so. On the contrary, it has my approval." Purport. As explained in connection with text 26, all the incidents that took place had the approval of the Lord. Ordinarily, there is no possibility that the four sages could be so angry with the doorkeepers, nor could the Supreme Lord neglect His two doorkeepers, nor can one come back from Vaikuntha after once taking birth there. All these incidents, therefore, were designed by the Lord Himself for the sake of His pastimes in the material world. Thus He plainly says that it was done with His approval. Otherwise it would have been impossible for inhabitants of Vaikuntha to come back to this material world simply because of a rabbinical curse. The Lord especially blesses the so-called culprits. All glory is unto you. A devotee once accepted by the Lord can never fall down. That is the conclusion of this incident. Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Jata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sudoritam Savadutam Pradijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Dev Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha. It's pretty amazing. Here they are falling down to become demons. And the Lord is saying, all glories unto you. So are we to think that we are in the same position as the Jai and Vijay? That Krishna is saying, all glories unto you, you are going to become a demon, and all glories unto you. Should we think like that? No. This pastime of Jai and Vijay falling down, it is a specific pastime to give the Lord the opportunity to come and fight with the demons in this material world, person to person. We are not such demons that the Lord will personally fight with us like them. So our fall into this material existence, in the fall of Jai and Vijay, it is not the same. They are quite different. They were sent here for a pastime purpose. We came here out of a desire to imitate the Lord. Our mood is one of envy. Trying to take the Lord's position. That is our position. So we should never think that we're in the same category as Jai and Vijay. We have a tendency to want to do that. To want to puff ourselves up like Dr. Frog. You know that Dr. Frog? You know that Dr. Frog? He was very proud. He was living in a little tiny well. And he was thinking that my well is the biggest body of water in the whole world. But one day another frog came along and said, Dr. Frog, do you realize there's a body of water much bigger than your well? He said, no, that is not possible. My well is the biggest body of water in the whole world. But the other frog insisted, no, Dr. Frog, I have been to the Atlantic Ocean. I have seen it is much bigger than your well. So Dr. Frog said, how much bigger? And he puffed his chest up. Is it this much bigger than my well? The other frog said, no, Dr. Frog, it's much bigger than that. He said, Well, is it this much bigger than my mouth?
Толкова ли е по-голям? И той се надува още малко.
He said, no, Dr. Frog, it's much bigger than them.
И другата жаба му казала, не, доктор жаба.
So he said, okay, is it this much bigger? His chest exploded and he died.
И той казал, добре, толкова ли е голям и се опитал да се надуе, обаче експлодирал и умрял.
So, if we try to puff ourselves up like Dr. Frog into thinking I am great,
Така че ако се опитаме да се надуеме като доктор жаба, като си мислим, че аз съм голям,
that pride will be our destruction.
тази гордост ще бъде нашето унищожение.
You think that I am here, I'm simply here as a part of the Lord's Leela.
Да си мислим, че аз съм просто тук като част от забавленията на Бога.
That I am a great pure devotee, but I've simply come here out of some Leela, Krishna Leela, in this material world.
Велик предано отдаден, чист предано отдаден и съм дошъл тук за забавленията на Бога.
That sort of foolish mentality will keep us in this material existence forever.
Този вид глупав менталитет ще ни държи тук завинаги в материалното съществуване.
We have to understand and realize we made a big mistake.
Трябва да разберем, че сме направили голяма грешка.
Ichadvaisha samudtaina dvanva mohina bharata sarvabhutani sangmahang sargayanti parandapa. Oh, Sayana Bharata, that's, let's see, that's, what is it, 727, yeah, Bhagavad Gita. Yes. O Sayana Bharata, O conqueror of the foe, all living entities are born into delusion, bewildered by the dualities arisen from desire and hate.
Това е 7.27 Бхагавад Гита. О потомъко на Барата, о усмирителя на враговете, всички живи същества са родени в илюзия.
So that is our position.
Това е нашата позиция.
Desire and hate.
Желание и омраза.
We hated Krishna.
Ние мразим Кришна.
We were envious of him. Why he gets to be the supreme. You see.
И му завиждаме, защо той трябва да е върховен.
And that envy is what has brought us to this material existence. That hate of Krishna.
Тази омраза към Кришна.
About that, hatred is less intelligent thing, you see.
Но тази омраза не е интелигентна.
Actually, even in this world, a person who becomes very hateful towards others, it's not a very intelligent thing.
Дори тук в материалния свят някой, който много започне да мрази другите, това не е интелигентно.
Someone who hates others can never be happy. His mind will always be agitated.
Някой, който мрази другите, никога не може да бъде щастлив и умът му винаги ще е обезпокоен.
You become happy to the extent that you love.
Ставате толкова щастлив, доколкото можете да обичате.
And as one is miserable to the extent that he hates.
И сте нещастни до степента, в която мразите.
Devotees, we don't hate anybody.
Що се отнася до преданите, ние не мразим никого.
We love everyone.
Ние обичаме всички.
Mama bhuta prasanatmana sochatina samak sarveshu bhuteshu. You see. We're equal to everyone. We love everyone. So, that is the position of happiness. The more that you can love, to that extent you become happy. And therefore Krishna consciousness is the perfection, because when you love Krishna, you automatically love everyone. And you can also judge, if you don't love everyone, it means you don't love Krishna. As long as you're hating any of Krishna's children, you cannot love him. Sometimes a neophyte devotee probably thinks, oh, I love Krishna.
начинащите преамалдани с гордост си мислят, о, аз обичам Кришна.
But I hate so-and-so Das.
Но аз мразя този и този дас.
It doesn't work that way, you see.
Не става така.
We can only love Krishna to the extent that we love his devotees.
Ние можем да обичаме Кришна само в степента, в която обичаме неговите предани.
And to the extent that we love all living entities also.
И също до степента, в която обичаме всички останали живи същества.
By desiring to give them Krishna consciousness.
Като желаем да им дадем Кришна съзнанието.
Otherwise, our claim to devotional service is a faulty claim.
Иначе нашата претенция да извършваме предано служене е фалшива.
You have hate in your heart. You're not a lover of God.
Ако вие държите омраза в сърцето си, не може да обичате Бога.
A lover of God, he has a completely pure heart without any hate in it.
Този, който обича Бога, има напълно чисто сърце, без никаква омраза.
So the intelligent person, he understands that this hatred is my enemy. So therefore, let me train myself not to hate anyone.
И затова интелигентната личност си казва, тази омраза е мой враг, затова нека да се обуча да не мразя никой.
Let me train myself to see the hand of the Lord operating in all sorts of situations.
Нека да се тренирам да виждам как ръката на Бога се проявява във всички ситуации.
Even if someone comes to hurt me,
Дори ако някой дойде за да ме нарани,
instead of thinking it is their fault,
вместо да си мисля, че това е тяхна грешка,
I can think that they are simply the agents who are delivering to me the reactions from my past sinful activities.
аз мога да си мисля, че те са само агенти, които ми дават резултатите от моите минали греховни дейности.
They are not the cause of my suffering.
Те не са причина за моето страдание.
I'm getting the reactions for past sins, that's all. They just happen to be the ones that were arranged to deliver it to me, that's all.
Аз просто получавам реакциите си за моите минали грехове. Те са просто агенти, които ми дават.
Not their fault, it's my fault.
Това не е тяхна грешка, а моя грешка.
So it's not that by subduing other people you can become happy.
Няма начин, като подчинявате другите хора, да станете щастливи.
Just like in India, they were thinking, well, we don't like having these British here, it makes us very unhappy, so let's get rid of the British.
Както в Индия, те започнаха да си мислят, ние не обичаме тези англичани, те ни правят много нещастни, нека да се освободим от тях.
But actually, India was much better during British rule than it is now.
Но всъщност Индия била много по-добре по време на британското управление.
In fact, after the British left, they had some elections.
След като британците си отишли, те имали избори.
And the villagers asked, if we vote for the British, will they come back?
И селените питали, ако гласуваме за англичаните, те ще се върнат.
So, similarly in the Fiji Islands,
По същия начин на островите Фиджи,
they were under British rule. There were two groups, the Indians and the Fijians, and they were living peacefully under British rule.
и под британско управление били две групи, фиджианците и индийците.
Some Indians got the idea we'd be happier if we were independent, so let's ask the British to leave.
Някои от индийците имали тази идея, ние ще сме по-щастливи, ако сме независими, нека помолим англичаните да се отидат.
So the British said, all right,
Британците казали,
we'll leave.
ще се тръгнем.
And then all hell broke loose after that, you see. Became like hell.
И след това там станал като ад.
So the point is that we have to learn how to give our love to Krishna. That's the real point.
Така че същността на всичко е, че ние трябва да се научим как да даваме любовта си на Кришна.
We have to become free from lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, and envy.
Трябва да се освободим от омразата, завистта, илюзията, страха и
Because by giving our love to Krishna,
защото като даваме любовта си на Кришна,
our love then will go automatically to all living entities.
по този начин ние ще обичаме автоматично всички живи същества.
You can never be happy by hating others.
Никога не може да сте щастливи като мразите други.
Even though they got the British out, they hated the British, they thought, let's get rid of them, then we can be happy, but it didn't work.
И те си казали, ние мразим британците,
They hated British rule. Let's get rid of it and then we can be happy. It didn't work. So it's not that by being successful in your hating program that you can be happy. Even if you're able to banish the object of your hate, you will still not be happy. You can only become happy when you become perfect lover of Krishna and all living beings. Then you'll be happy. So now I can ask if there's any questions. Nardamani.
Същата ли сила имат благословиите или проклятията, и ако имат същата, понякога някой благослови и не се сбъдва, това значи и че Вишну не ги одобри.
My question is connected with the blessings. Are the blessings so potent as the curse? And if the blessing is not happening, does it mean that Vishnu bans it? Vishnu is holding it from happening.
I don't quite follow.
Because Krishna is saying here in the text that he cannot stop the curse of the Brahmanas. He can stop the curse. He can undo the curse.
He's saying that I'm not capable of nullifying the curse. Yeah.
He's capable of nullifying the curse.
He's not.
He's capable, but because of the blessing, he is not.
Oh yeah, he's saying I am capable, but I would not do so. That's right.
And the question is that is it the same with the blessings? When someone gives blessing, you sometimes see that the blessing is not taking place actually. So does it mean that Krishna himself withholds that blessing from happening?
Actually, we're not able to see how the blessing is being fruitful. Spiritual master blesses the disciples, they can become pure devotees. That blessing is powerful. It's not lacking in any way in potency. It's fully powerful. But how much they take the blessing, you see, that's the difference. If they don't accept the blessing, then nothing will happen. It's not that the blessing is impotent. How receptive is the disciple to receive the blessing? That's the real issue. The spiritual master is potent. So the disciple must also be potent. Whether he will be potent or not, that's up to him. If he's enthusiastic about devotional service, he will have full potency to receive that blessing. But if he's more interested in eating, sleeping, mating, and defending, then there'll be no result. It's like you can take a potent seed, you can put it in the earth, and you can get an apple tree. Or you can put it in the middle of the street and it'll just die. The seed is potent. But where you place that seed, that makes a difference.
Но мястото, на което го слагате, се различава.
So the disciple must make his heart into fertile soil.
Така че ученикът трябва да превърне сърцето си в благородна почва.
But if his heart is like hard cement, that seed will not act.
Но ако сърцето му е като твърд цимент, семето няма да помисли.
You understand?
Yes.
Next question. Naradi.
Чувала съм, че Махараджа Парикшит, когато е бил проклят, имал силата да не приеме това проклятие. Но той го е приел просто за дори за благото на своя глава, на човечна глава и за благото на другите. Дали така? Наистина може да не приеме това проклятие.
She has two questions.
Just give them one of them.
The first is she has heard that Maharaja Parikshit he possessed the power to not accept the curse.
Okay.
So is it so?
Yes. He could have nullified the curse. He's a pure devotee.
Да, той може да анулира това проклятие, това че изправено да.
But he thought this is a very good opportunity
Но той си мисля, това е много добра възможност.
for going back to Godhead. He said, I will take advantage of this curse.
Да се върна обратно при Бога. Аз ще се възползвам от това проклятие.
The second question?
Това правилно ли задава въпрос? Отговорът е.
Другият въпрос е, имат ли място и какво представляват такива качества като чест, достоинство, гордост, дори в Кришна съзнание? И каква е разликата между нас? Как може да ги различим от фалшивото е?
In Krishna consciousness, what is the meaning of personal qualities like dignity, like
Fame, distinction.
Yes. Actually,
Adoration,
Huh?
distinction. Adoration, distinction.
yes. Actually, everyone wants to be appreciated.
всеки иска да бъде оценяван.
What is the position of qualities like dignities? The question was.
The dignity.
Okay. Yeah.
Dignity and honor.
Honor. Okay. All right.
Perfect adoration and
Yeah, yeah.
distinction.
So can I answer it now? Is it ready? Okay. Everybody wants to be honored, and every person wants to be honored. It's a natural psychology.
Всеки иска да бъде уважаван. Това е естествена психология.
So, instead of becoming honored for being a big materialist, one should try to become honored for being a devotee.
Вместо да се опитва да бъде уважаван като голям материалист, човек може да се опита да бъде уважаван като предан на Бога.
That's for a neophyte.
Това е за начинащ.
You see, the person wants to be honored, so let him, in the beginning, the first stage, let him try to become honored for being a devotee. That's the first stage.
Човека иска да бъде уважаван, нека да бъде уважаван като предан.
But then when he becomes more advanced in Krishna consciousness, he realizes there's no need to be honored at all, really.
Но после като напредна в Кришна съзнание, той разбира, че няма никаква нужда да бъде уважаван въобще.
Wanting to be honored means I want to be worshipped.
Да желаеш да бъдеш уважаван, това означава, че аз искам да бъда обожаван.
I want to take the position of Krishna.
Искам да взема позицията на Кришна.
So when he becomes more advanced, he will think, how can I give more and more honor and distinction to Krishna and to my spiritual master?
Тогава, когато той напредне, той ще си мисли как мога да увеличавам престижа и уважението към Кришна и моят духовен учител.
In other words, the more he becomes absorbed in glorifying Krishna and Guru, the less he will care about his own being glorified, you see.
С други думи, когато той все повече и повече се поглъща от обожанието и към Гуру и Кришна, той ще забравя за собствените си.
Of course, one could ask in this connection,
Човек може да попита в тази връзка.
since I have quoted Prabhupada from Vishnu Chan Maharaj's explanation. Prabhupada said, why are you're always saying all glories to Srila Prabhupada, why don't you become glorious?
Шрила Прабхупада казва, защо казвате вечна слава на Шрила Прабхупада, защо вие не станете славни?
Isn't that the desire to be glorious, to be glorified, the desire to be glorious?
Това желание да бъдеш славен ли е?
Actually, there's a difference.
Има разлика.
There's a difference between the desire to become glorified and the desire to become glorious. There's a big difference.
Има разлика между желанието да бъдеш възхваляван и желанието да станеш славен. Има голяма разлика.
One should desire to become a glorious devotee,
Човек трябва да желае да стане славен предан отдаден.
because that gives automatic glorification to one's spiritual master.
Защото това автоматично увеличава славата на неговия духовен учител.
As it is stated, a tree can be judged by the fruit that it produces.
Както се казва, дървото може да бъде оценено по плодовете, които дава.
So one should strive to become a glorious devotee, a pure devotee of the Lord. That is the meaning of glorious.
Така че човек трябва да се стреми да стане славен предан отдаден, чист предан отдаден. Това е значение.
But to want to be recognized as a glorious devotee, that's different. You see, that's material desire.
Но да желае да бъде признат за славен предан отдаден, това е друго. Това вече е материалното желание.
If you become glorious, your spiritual master will automatically be glorified by your gloriousness.
Ако вие сте славен, автоматично вашия духовен учител ще бъде славен заради вашата слава.
You don't need to be glorified to glorify your spiritual master by your gloriousness.
Вие не се нуждаете от това да бъдете възхваляван, за да можете да увеличавате славата на своят духовен учител със своята слава.
But you will automatically end up being glorified when you're in that mood of not wanting to be glorified.
Но автоматично, като имате това настроение да не желаете да бъдете възхваляван, вие ставате славен.
So the more you desire to become glorified, the less you'll be glorified.
Така че колкото повече желание имате да сте възхваляван, толкова по-малко ще.
And when you become completely 100% free from even the slightest tinge of a desire to be glorified, then you'll become glorified all over the three worlds.
Когато от вас изчезне и най-малката следа от това желание да бъдете възхваляван, вие ще бъдете възхваляван навсякъде из трите свята.
So, one should understand not to desire to be glorified.
И човек трябва да разбере да не желае да бъде възхваляван.
And then automatically, Krishna will recognize, the advanced devotees will recognize, even gradually all the devotees in the whole world will recognize gradually such a devotee.
И тогава постепенно такъв предан бива оценяван от другите предани Кришна по целия свят.
Such a pure devotee will be dear to everyone. Dira jira jana priyo.
Такъв предан отдаден е скъп на всички.
The six Goswamis, they were completely pure devotees. They had no desire to be glorified, but yet they were dear to everyone. The devotees loved them, even the non-devotees loved them. Everyone loved them.
Шестимата Госвами, те нямали такова желание да бъдат възхвалявани и били чисти предани. И всички ги обичали, и преданите, и тези, които не били предани.
So, next question. Yeah.
It is easy to love the devotees because they are so lovable.
Easy to
It is easy to love the devotees.
love, yeah.
But how can we learn to love, for example, demons?
Preaching?
How we can learn to
By preaching?
By preaching.
You have to give them love by preaching, and that's how you learn to love them. Make them devotees. Go on book distribution. Go on Harinam. And try to and make friends with them, invite them to the temple. In this way, preach. How many people have you brought to the temple this month? How many people have you brought to the temple this month in September? Your spiritual master is here. Did you bring any people to hear your spiritual master?
Yes.
You did. That's good. So increase that. That's how you can learn to love the general population, by preaching. By practicing loving. Preaching means love in action. You see, that is preaching. Love in action is preaching.
Лесно е да обичаме преданите, но как да обичаме демоните? И отговорът е чрез като им проповядваме, даваме им науката за Кришна. И просто трябва да увеличаваме разпространяването на книги, да ходим на Харина. Това означава действие.
So our time has run out, I think. It's 8 o'clock, normal time for doing greeting. And where is Purushachuta? Is he ready? One question?
What is the meaning of the term Nityabada?
Nityabada means eternally conditioned.
And how to help them?
It may be confusing. How can he be Nityabada when originally he was in the spiritual world before he fell to this material existence?
Може би се очудвате как може да е вечно благословен преди да като е бил в духовния свят преди да падне.
But you have to understand, the spiritual world is a realm of timelessness. Time doesn't exist there.
Трябва да разберете, че духовният свят там не съществува времето.
So there was no measurable time when you left the spiritual world. You can't measure it.
Така че не може да се измери времето, в което сте напуснали духовния свят.
That means you've always been here in the material world.
Това означава, че винаги сте били тук в материалния свят.
Even though you were in the spiritual world, that's a realm of timelessness. There's no time when you left it. But when you go back, there'll be no time that you weren't there also. And then you become Nityasiddha.
Преди да го напуснете, не може, и когато се върнете, също не може да се измери времето, когато сте се върнали. И тогава ще станете отново.
It's inconceivable to our mundane brains.
Това е невъзможно да се разбере с светския мозък.
But Prabhupada said you cannot measure the time you entered in this material world. You see, there's no way you can ever measure that time. That's why we're eternally conditioned. You can't say, well, it was 10 million years ago, 10 trillion years ago. You can't put any number on it. There's no measurable moment in time when you entered the material world. That's why you're called Nityabada. And when you go back to Godhead, there'll be no measurable time when you weren't in the spiritual world because you enter the timelessness again. There'll be no past, present, and future. And you become Nityasiddha. It's very hard to understand. Our brains can't accommodate it. Because our brains are wired to see everything in terms of time and space. You have to go beyond your mundane intelligence. Become transcendently realized. See? Any other questions? Yeah.
И човек остана неутрален по отношение на това страдание, неутрален по отношение на чувствата и емоциите към вредата, която се опитва да ти направя. Това дали е елемент от любовта към Бога?
When somebody hurts you and you keep neutral to this damage that the other person is doing to you. Is this an element from the love of God?
Yes. And the devotee's tolerance is a manifestation of Krishna's love. Yeah. Actually, devotee is not afraid of any curse. Because he knows that nothing can act without Krishna's sanction. The devotee sees how everything is Krishna's blessing. Even the so-called curse is the blessing of Krishna. Jai and Vijay, they're taking this curse as a blessing. So that is one takes everything, one who is advanced in Krishna consciousness, he takes everything as a blessing. Therefore his mind is always peaceful, never disturbed by anything. He is supremely happy. Any other questions? Yes.
Those who stay in the temple, should they wake up for Mangalarti or they just sleeping?
So, okay. Actually, anyone who sleeps in the temple, they must get up for Mangalarti, otherwise they shouldn't live in the temple. Prabhupada said the temple is not a free hotel. This is ashram. Yeah, in the old days, they used to, if somebody was sleeping, then we'd go and have a kirtan around his sleeping bed, surround him with a kirtan. And bring him to Mangalarti. Everyone in the whole temple building, they had to be up for Mangalarti. That was the price she paid for living in the temple. You had to come to the morning program every day. Even if you're very tired. I remember I was doing this Sankirtan marathon. I was out till the middle of the night distributing books. And then I had to go to Mangalarti. I was so tired, I took a nap during the Premadvani prayers. I actually fell sound asleep during the 2 minutes of the Premadvani. I got a little rest there during Premadvani. But still I had to go to Mangalarti. See, everyone went to Mangalarti. There's no question of not being in Mangalarti. Everyone. We had a very strong temple president. He lived in the temple. He carried a stick also. He never really hit you with a stick, but he shoved the stick, you see. That was enough to get you moving.
If someone comes and stays in the temple, their prime desire is to become Krishna conscious. If they sleep in, how they can take advantage of Krishna consciousness?
They can't. Coming to the temple is becoming Krishna conscious. It's not just to get some place with cheap rent. So you must get up, you see. It's like Maharaji and I myself, we get up, and Purusha Chutta is ideal. He's always up on time offering the arti, you see. Everyone should see this wonderful example of Purusha Chutta Prabhu. How much he's getting up early every day, offering the arati. You see, he's a very good brahmana. Everyone should learn from his example.
Аз и мата си ставаме, а също най-вече може да се получите от примера на Пуруша Чута Прабху. Той е много добър.
How to rise early, take bath, offer worship to the Lord.
Той става рано, къпе се.
No one should be sleeping in, and even in home you should get up. Everyone should get up.
Дори вкъщи всеки трябва да става.
By 4 o'clock.
Около 4.
And you can always chant your rounds. If you need a little extra rest, take a nap before you leave for the work.
Ако искате да се починете малко, дръмнете малко преди работа.
Next question? Yeah. Are we out of time? Purusha Tutaru, how much time we have? Ready now for greeting? Time for greeting now, you ready? Or one more question? Huh? Now or one more question? We're ready now, okay. Alright, we'll stop here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.